Today's video is sponsored by ExMark, makers of professional grade mowers. So welcome back everyone, Mike here. You know, I was thinking the other day, and I've said this before, when you buy land, you can't believe how expensive it is, but when you look back 10 or 15 years from now, you can't believe how little you actually paid for it. Today, we're going to talk about 15 different ways to monetize your property, how to make money with the land that you already have. Now keep in mind, some of the things we're going to talk about may not apply to everyone in every area. It's going to depend on local zoning laws. Some of the things may require some level of insurance. Some may require some level of investment, maybe small, maybe large. But I think all in all, out of the 15 different things, we're going to find something that applies to everyone. Now, the first way I know to make money off your own land is firewood. As a matter of fact, we're going to go deliver this cord right now. Now, I'm not going to tell you that cutting and splitting and selling firewood is easy, because it's not. It's a lot of work, but it literally grows on trees. Now, we have about 100 acres of forest that I can cut firewood from, and I would guess that I could cut 20 to 25 full cords of firewood each year without even taking a live tree. That would just be from blowdowns, dead trees, storm damage, and things like that. So with firewood prices the way they are around here, that equals somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 worth of wood each year. All right, I just returned from delivering a cord of firewood. I now have an empty trailer. I traded that firewood for this. And by the way, this stacks much easier than firewood. Another way that our property can help pay for itself is doing side work for other people. And what I mean is this: if you're a landowner, there's a good chance you have like a tractor with a brush hog, maybe a skid loader, some type of equipment to maintain your property. Well, I use that equipment occasionally to do side work for other people. Now, I have commercial liability insurance and all that. I don't do a ton of work, but I do make enough to pay for my insurance and make a few extra bucks. So far, we talked about selling firewood and doing side jobs with equipment you already own. Now I want to talk about oil and gas leases. If that's something that you're interested in and somebody approaches you about, I suggest you do your homework or find somebody to kind of walk you through the process. I was fortunate. I worked in the industry for about 10 years, so I know what to look out for. We signed a non-surface lease probably about 10 years ago, I'm guessing. It's worked out really well for us. And what that means is non-surface, they can't do anything on the surface. You know, they can't build well pads or roads or run pipelines or anything like that. We're in a producing unit that sends us a check each month, and the gas comes from about 7,000 feet below us. They bored horizontally through the ground, doesn't affect us at all, and it's worked out really well. But like I said, if it's something you're interested in, do your homework, get some help, and really think it through, and it might be something worth doing. All right, now we're up to number 4, and while we're on the subject of leasing your land, a lot of people lease their land for hunting. If you're not a hunter and you don't mind hunters on your property, that may be something you want to consider for additional income, leasing your land for hunting. Now, number 5, you're not going to make a lot of money at unless you have a huge operation, but try raising chickens and selling eggs. We actually used to do pretty good at that. However, the fox and the hawks kind of cleaned us out. Number 6, grow a big garden and sell those vegetables at a farmer's market or a roadside stand.
Look at the deer. That's Scarlet. All right. It's fun to be able to say cue the deer, but with your property, number 7, ways to make money, you could have an Airbnb. Make a nice mini cabin on your property somewhere, fix it up, have it home and comfy for those visitors that are traveling. Airbnbs are pretty popular. I know that just from our kids have been using them quite a bit when they travel, and it really makes sense. So you have a little place, you fix up, make it a little home for a night for somebody. A great way to make money. Number 8, something I've always wanted to do, it would take a large investment, is a wedding venue. I have great ideas and I see things and be like, oh, that would be perfect. Lights, trails. You could offer different packages. I think it's an excellent idea. You would need investors and you'd want to do your homework, because I've been doing my homework for this for several years and I still haven't found the right investors, but It might happen one day, but check it into a wedding venue. Number 9 is pet sitting and boarding. As you can see, the deer in the background, she's here. She's a friend of ours and we're watching her. No, not really. But if you have the right property and you can fence it in to make it safe so the dog or the pets that you're going to be boarding and watching won't get away, I think it's an excellent idea. It's fun for if you have children, you can teach them responsibility and help them get involved. I know I've done many years worth of pet sitting. Most of them were all favors, but a few times I've earned some extra cash and it was great for Christmas or to sock it away for something I was saving for. So pet sitting and boarding.
What's number 10, Melissa?
Number 10 is board horses and goat rentals.
Goat rentals?
Yeah, so it's a big thing, at least in this Pittsburgh area, that you can get goats to go into certain areas. The people that own them take these goats in and they eat up all the brush and the heavy greenery, which makes a lot of sense. But then at night, the goats are like, can't get an Uber home, and the farmer guy is like, hey, it's not worth it for me to drive them back home and drive them back in the morning. So if you have a local area, local farm, you already have a fenced in area, you can walk them and get a nightly rate for,
I did actually hear people doing just
8,
this.
10 goats, yeah.
Yeah.
But even boarding horses. So if you've upgraded from just a fenced in yard and you have a farm,
pasture.
yeah, and you have the fence line already etched in, you maybe just need to touch up some fencing and make sure that's all safe. I think it's a great thing to look into. You could board horses. You can even board some cows if you want, but you never know. Situations arise all the time that there's things happening with sicknesses or people have to travel.
Right.
And they don't know what to do. So you could use your property to board horses and goats.
That was number 10, right?
Yes.
Number 11, this would require some type of investment for sure, but I know some people that have been pretty successful. You have to be in the right area, is to start a campground. If you're in an area, campers and RVs are real big. A lot of people need a place to stay. And so if your property is set up for something like that, that may be something you want to consider, a campground, and that's number 11. Another idea is a pay lake, I guess you call them. I've seen those work in the past where people have a nice pond or lake on their property. You would definitely need liability insurance, but people pay memberships to come fish on your property. So that's something else you could consider if your property's laid out for something like that. Now, another one that we've been thinking about, and I wanted to talk about this one a little bit more than the others, is having your property timbered. I have mixed feelings on that. You can get a great company in there to cut your timber and you can make a lot of money at it, but you have to know what to expect when they're done. And you have to have everything worked out beforehand. We have a lot of trees on our property that honestly should have been cut 30, 40, 50 years ago, and we never did. We like that section of woods the way it is. But, from a wildlife standpoint, it would make more sense to get that timber cut, let all the small stuff grow up, and it will definitely hold more game than what it does now. So it's all in what you want. There's definitely money in timber. Kind of like the oil and gas thing, you want to do your research and you want to find a good, reputable company with references and talk to other people in your area that have had it done. But there's definitely money in timber, that's for sure.
So check the references, good idea.
Yeah, definitely check references.
Yeah.
Something else you may be interested in doing, and you could do this on a small scale or a large scale, is self-storage for people with boats and RVs. We've actually had people approach us in the past because they see all this property, but it's not something we were interested in at the time, and but that's something to consider. A lot of these people buy these things, and if your boat's on the lake, they come home, they have nowhere to put it, or they travel out west for a few weeks in their RV, have nowhere to store it for the rest of the year. So possibly a self-storage on your own property would be another idea.
I think it's a good idea. I think when a lot of people have those RVs or boats, but they live in a development where there's the bylaws of it that say you can't have it in your driveway.
Right. So what's the last one, Melissa?
Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. A Christmas tree farm.
I always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I've talked to several friends and family members that are like, oh, that's my dream. And maybe it is just an Instagram video or a sweet little TikTok, but there's a lot to it. I think if you do your homework and you start growing them, get your family involved, I think it's very doable.
Yeah.
And very profitable.
And a few
Have you seen the prices of real Christmas trees lately?
Oh, yeah. And a few bonus items. We've reached our 15, but my wheels keep turning. It all kind of depends where you live. Like around here, it's like we live out in the middle of nowhere, but just out the road a few miles are a bunch of housing plans. we could literally sell memberships to our trails for people to come out and walk their dogs. You know, there's just tons of things. I think the best thing to do is kind of think outside the box. And it's amazing to see old farms. I've got mixed feelings about this, but you see these old farms that are turned into wedding venues and strawberries, where people go pick strawberries, or pumpkin patches, or corn mazes. There's just tons of different things. And to me, it seems people are wanting to get outside more and out in the open more and do more things outside. So if you have a piece of property, you know, this is just a list of 15. There's literally hundreds of ways you could do this.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get us thinking and get you thinking to come up with some ideas for yourself. But anyway, I think that's it for today's video. We really appreciate y'all being here. And I want to thank ExMark for sponsoring today's video.
Thank you.
There'll be a link in the description if you'd like to check it out. And like we always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.